think this Supreme Court decision on marriage this morning is another example of extreme judicial overreach. Just yesterday they decided to rewrite Obamacare because they didn't like the 4 words that were in there. They thought that they should have said something different than what they actually said. That's not what a Supreme Court does. And today in this decision on marriage, the Supreme Court has decided that they're going to impose same-sex marriage on all the states, require them to conduct same-sex marriages in their civil ceremonies, and require all of the states to honor any same-sex marriage from any other state. This is imposed judicial reciprocity on marriage. If gay marriage is to be the policy of this land, that needs to be a decision made by the people through their elected representatives, not by judicial fiat. And so this country cannot tolerate a Supreme Court that would impose their will on the rest of this country. In fact, if you look back at the decisions such as the Dred Scott decision that was supposed to put an end to slavery, and what we got was a civil war, and 600,000 Americans died in that civil war. And then we had another decision, Murray versus Curlett, that took prayer out of the public school. And we just simply bowed and genuflected to the Supreme Court and decided we won't pray in our public schools because the Supreme Court has told us that somehow in the Constitution it says that we can't. Not that we shouldn't, that we can't. I read the Constitution, that's not in there. And you look a little forward to that and you see Roe versus Wade. We have Doe versus Bolton, back-to-back decisions by the Supreme Court, nearly 60 million babies aborted by the directive that the Supreme Court gave, which was a woman has a right to privacy, and that right to privacy includes putting an end to the life of her baby. You watch as Americans come to the Washington, D.C. every January 22nd to march to the Supreme Court buildings to call for an end of Roe versus Wade and a respect for life. The Supreme Court has a terrible record in trying to transform our society and put an end to issues. The only way we put an end to issues is when it's the will of the people. Well, it's not the will of the people to have same-sex marriage. Now there's no point in having civil marriage in this country whatsoever. So I'm calling upon the states, just abolish civil marriage. Let's go back to holy matrimony the way it began. Do that alone. And by the way, I want to send a message to the Supreme Court, a good, strong message. And in the next few days or weeks, I'll be introducing legislation to do just that.